Let's hear from people in the audience on the Friday show. We go to the phones, except we really don't. We actually use Discord. You can join the David Pakman Show Discord absolutely free at davidpakman.com/Discord. And it's really an extraordinary thing. As a reminder to everybody who's waiting, the format for your nickname, if you want to talk to me, is name and location or location and name. Those are the rules. So, for example, we're going to go to Junie from Florida. Junie from Florida is our first caller today. Junie, what's going on?
Hello, David. Do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Great, great. My question for you is, with everything going on with the current Republican Party, with banning books, trying to restrict voting, what do you think is the future of the Republican Party, in your opinion?
Well, I don't think it's determined at this point in time. As I've said for a while now, it looked like the 2022 MAGA red wave wasn't going to materialize, and it didn't.
Right.
And the question now is what happens in 2024. There really doesn't seem to be anything that will stop Trump from being the Republican nominee, short of Trump himself. And what I mean by that is one arrest so far, $5 million sexual assault and defamation, a verdict against him on Tuesday, potentially another arrest coming out of Georgia in between July and September is roughly what's estimated. Could all of that take him off the campaign trail in such a way that he's just not viable? But the Republican Party for now does seem to still hold Trump as its leader, and I don't know what's going to prevent him from being the nominee. So then the question becomes the 2024 general election. Obviously, if Trump is reelected president in 2024, which I don't think is as far-fetched as some do, Trump's actually ahead of Biden in some polling already. If that happens, then I will be ready to say the Republican Party in a more permanent way has jumped the shark, for lack of a better term. However, if Trumpism is again defeated in 2024, assuming Trump's the nominee but loses, I believe at that point, particularly with Trump being an even older guy at that point in time, it will be essentially open season on abandoning MAGA fully by the Republican Party, which may be what saves them at the end of the day.
Okay, yeah, that sounds. I agree with that. And do you mind if I just ask you one more quick question?
Sure.
Okay, great. Do you think with the Republican Party going against, the LGBTQ community, stigmatizing them in very, very negative ways, do you think it's fair to maybe call the modern day Republican Party fascistic or proto-fascist in a way?
Yeah, I think, with a lot of this stuff, these are mostly linguistic conversations than operational or policy. But I think there's no question that what you're seeing among the MAGA movement is a sort of neo-fascist light authoritarianism of sorts, which would like to be much more hardcore. If we didn't have some of the checks and balances we have in the United States, they'd likely succeed in becoming much more of that. But I do think that wannabe fascist is probably as good a term as any.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, okay, David, that's really all the questions I've had, and I don't want to hold up. So, I'll just let you get to more callers.
Well, one question for you. Is Junie short for something? It's not a name I'm super familiar with.
Oh no, that's okay. It's a nickname I go by because my
Oh,
full
okay.
name is Leroy McGraw Jr.
Okay.
And so Junie just comes from Junior.
Got it. Okay, very good. That actually makes a lot of sense. All right,
No
Junie, thank you
problem.
for the call. I appreciate it.
No problem, David. Enjoy
All
the
right.
rest of your weekend, sir.
You too. There goes Junie from Florida. If you're like me and you love the nostalgia of enjoying a bowl of cereal sometimes as an adult, check out our sponsor, Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is the breakfast cereal with the crunchy, sweet goodness you love, but with 0 grams of sugar, more protein, and only 4 to 5 net carbs. So it's perfect if you're doing low carb, if you're doing keto, if you're like me and you just don't want to eat a bunch of sugar. Magic Spoon has delicious flavors to choose from: cocoa, fruity, frosted peanut butter, honey nut, cinnamon roll, birthday cake. My favorite is maple waffle, and right now they have limited edition spring flavors, strawberry milkshake and peaches and cream. Sometimes you just feel like sitting down with a bowl of cereal. When the mood strikes, go for something with plenty of protein without all the sugar. If you don't love Magic Spoon as much as I do and our team does, Magic Spoon will refund all of your money, no questions asked. Go to magicspoon.com/Pacman, create a custom bundle, use the code Pacman for $5 off. The link is down below.